Hoka hey, hoka ho, everybody. This is Kanzi coming to you from the Sacred Fire. And today's subject of curiosity with our talking circle, we got some real beautiful Quayoke and Nene, Ushka here, Mompi, Nango. We are talking about cultural appropriation and tribal appropriation. Okay, let me just give you a rundown of what this means for me. I could be wrong. If I am, correct me in the comments. But I'd love to hear your opinion too, good people, my friends. Cultural appropriation is where a dominant society, I'm going to use history for example, the Europeans came over, they saw all this culture and language and all these distinct cultures, these tribes with their distinct languages and practices. And what they wanted to do was they dominated it, part of the assimilation manifest destiny program they had going back then. So they would take our language, diminish it, and then overlap it with English. They would take away our cultural artifacts and then mix them with other tribes to confuse us. So we're all homogenized tribes. So you got this Plains Indian wearing the clothing of a West Coast, or an Ojibwe who's wearing European clothing because he was ridiculed and persecuted for wearing his traditional clothing, the fashion, eh? Now today, 500 years later, I'm starting to learn about this thing called tribal appropriation, where now our own people are taken from other tribes. So you got the Plains Ojibwe, or just Ojibwe, who are adopting ceremonies and practices from the Plains people, right? The Lakota teachings, and mixing them in. Or different ceremonial practices as well as seasonal activities. We're mixing them in, with our, so we're all becoming this like multicultural tribal people. That's what homogenized means to me. Okay, so I'm going to pass it on. Think on that for a bit. I'm going to pass it on and I'm going to give it to the next speaker at our circle.
Me?
Oh, you want to talk about?
I'm not,
Huh?
I'm not too sure about.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know the full history yet.
Okay.
Is this live right
No.
now? Okay.
No, I'm going to edit it.
So your question is about what?
Your opinion or experience with cultural appropriation and tribal appropriation. You know how like one tribe will take songs from another tribe and say, okay, we're gonna take this song and we're gonna use it and it's now ours.
Well, I think there's a couple things to think about
Okay, hold on to that.
when we think about that.
Oh, okay, don't hold that.
One is that there's protocol and etiquette. So it is practice to share songs and to share ceremonies, things that have been gifted to different tribes and people who receive the right to do that. And there is protocol around that. So that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. And that has happened. Well, like, who knows how long we've been here, right? We've been here since the beginning, right? So there's that. And then there's another piece there. I think you touched on it briefly about the other societies that might not be recognized as indigenous in our Western current culture. Is that some cultures or some people, sometimes they don't know where to go. What they know they want something, but maybe that thing isn't. But maybe they've forgotten to look at their own ancestry, their own history, and where they come from. So they're out searching for something else. And I I know that it's not black and white. It's gray. There's a gray. It's layers, right? From maybe just this wanting for something, this meaningful purpose that we all desire. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. We all feel the need to belong. So there's that as well. I don't think, like, that's not to say that it isn't manipulated or disrespected by some, and that's really unfortunate, because that does happen. There are people in the world who don't who feel as if or maybe don't understand the what's necessary there, and what is necessary is that respect.
Oh.
So, like, when we respect one another, when we try to practice that respect, that allowing you to be you and allowing me to be me, then we can get along and practice those protocols that have been put in place for us for sharing, right? Those are my thoughts on it.
Beautiful. Miigwech. Kinojuan Kidwanan. Chimigwech. Now, I want you to stand over here because the wind is really strong. And I just want to use our bodies as a wind block, eh? Nahau. Kintam. Nishnabekwe. What is your thoughts about cultural appropriation? And this is really good for you because I want to hear your perspective, because you are a beautiful, impressive, inspiring artist. Okay, so you're working in the art field, and you're using non-native materials, okay, to create these beautiful arts pieces, and you're selling them, right, for your survival and your kids' survival. What is your thoughts about cultural appropriation?
I think for me, it's about respect. As long as, and learning. So for first, I would want to experience, because every culture is beautiful and they all have lessons to teach, and you can learn from all of them. And everyone's original instructions, are for the benefit of the other. So for me, it's, learning and being aware and knowing what's out there, and then being respectful while including it within your own lifestyle or your own creation. I like to do beadwork, but I'm Ojibwe, but I'm also Irish and British and from Newfoundland. So I have different pieces of culture already within me. So just learning about it, and then, the beautiful artwork comes from many different tribes. So having that permission and the proper knowledge before utilizing it, and I think that that's an important piece to it, and just understanding that every culture is different and there are different rules for different ceremony. So if you don't know, ask the questions, and don't just assume that that you can do what you want, because as much as we want to do what we want, there can be rules and regulations and ways that you can disrespect an art form or a ceremony and not realizing that you're doing it. So I think for me, it's knowledge and respect, and understanding what's appropriate and what's not.
Oh,
Miigwech.
miigwech. And there you have it, good people. Miigwech. Leave your comments, leave your experience, talk in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys think. I want to give thanks to these two beautiful women, Nishnabekweok, Miigwech and men. Bumapie, Kenzie is out.